Brachiosaurus Rex. 2 grown men and you can't unboil water?
Unboil water.
I've overboiled plenty of things, so all you gotta do is not be paying attention. Alright, y'all, I have changed my setup just a little bit. I've got a new headphone with a microphone. So I'm adding that on. We'll see when I edit it if that makes any better a sound than the earbuds that I was using. And I will be playing the video through my earbuds here, so that way me and my kid can listen at the same time. Here you go. Now this is Dexter Original Sin, episode 2, called Kid in a Candy Store. Of course, the last episode, Dexter got his internship in the place that we see him later on his time, earlier our time, when he is an adult working as a forensics person in his...
A blood spatter analyst?
Yeah, whatever. It's still forensics.
Yeah, but that's the term.
Okay, blood splatter analyst, whatever you want to call it, he's working with his father in his father's police department. It wouldn't necessarily be his father's police department, but his father is like the head honcho in the police department, I believe, when we start watching it, which my kid has not watched the first season as far as I know. So maybe eventually me and my kid can go back and watch the first season, but for right now, we're doing this. So chronologically, this is when the whole thing starts, even though they started the whole series when he was a full-grown adult. So anyway, let's get started.
My first day at my first job, I felt high.
Hi. You know, Dr. Rivas told me you had the best grades he's ever seen. We don't do grades here. You make one mistake and a killer goes free.
She was a woman after my own heart.
Welcome to Miami Metro. We have the highest murder rate in the country, and I have to sell a kidney for a box of pens. I own you now.
I never liked being kept on a leash.
Put me to work, boss.
Easy, baby tiger. Masuka will give you the game plan.
Could only hope my workload would get more challenging.
Don't touch anything.
Not touching anything?
What?
Yeah, that would be a challenge in itself, not touching anything.
Then you answer to me. I'm the number 2 around here.
I'm sure he enjoys that.
You're not even a number yet.
No, don't leave me here!
And true.
I always thought it would be me to have the heart attack.
I faked it so I could get a break from you knuckleheads.
Right.
Hungry after that. I think there's a pudding cup in the fridge. You can have it after your nap.
Doc said I had to give up smoking, so I had to find something else.
Heard about Judge Powell's kid?
I used cinnamon sticks when I first tried to quit smoking.
Feels like a kidnapping, though.
And it was helpful to have something in my mouth, something that I could put in my hands that I don't mind chewing on or whatever.
Miami is overflowing with cocaine. Needs an informant who can gain insight into the Estrada organization. It's going to be dangerous. Find someone you can trust. I've known this kid ever since he was watching Scooby-Doo.
And lighting fires and killing small animals.
The health thing, though, that means he's got a family member at his workplace keeping an eye on the shit he's doing. Because a lot of people with health conditions like that, they'll cheat. And it probably is better to have somebody who gives a shit about you keeping an eye out for what you're doing.
Maybe helping putting murderers away will be enough.
Like methadone for a heroin addict.
Though I'm sure most addicts prefer the real thing.
Maybe. And even those people that have something against using methadone because you think that it's like gonna keep them strung along on drugs, I would rather they be on methadone than being what they're full-blown addicted to. You're talking about the difference between somebody who's completely strung out and somebody who's managing their illness, if you want to call it that. And it is also a way to taper them off to hopefully get them slowly off completely, if that's possible. Because I have definitely heard arguments on both sides. And I think people that don't want to even offer that option at all are a little bit delusional.
And I have been a good boy.
The freaking bow.
For my first. My captain worried that my weak little lady stomach couldn't handle all the blood. 10 minutes on the scene and he was the one blowing chunks.
Yeah, us girls go through a lot of shit that I think men don't freaking comprehend, that probably makes it more likely that we can handle blood and guts and shit like that.
Like blood of all things.
Like, we freaking have babies.
Yeah, and periods.
And periods. Plus, we go through shit that I don't think that people calculate in their head, maybe. Maybe they just don't consider it or don't think about it. Whatever.
It didn't exactly start the way I had hoped.
Stuff like that never does start how you would hope or think or assume. Oh, that song, Step by Step. When I was a teenager, I was very infatuated with New Kids on the Block. I got over it at some point. I got tired of them, and then I was introduced to alternative music, and then I was all over and done with the New Kids on the Block and did not give a shit about them at all anymore.
Cash? Do what I did. I don't think I have anything I could sell. I'm sure you can find something lying around that house.
All these interruptions. These freaking calls, they fucking piss me off. And most of them are junk. When they do leave messages, it's messages of nothing or messages of junk.
Skip even one step and someone dies. You. It's a little homicide humor to kick off the day. We need to photograph the entire scene. Any blood. Spatter matters.
He likes
I
the
prefer the
blood.
spiral method. You work perimeter to center. I like to start on the right, head left.
Decayed incisors, definitely a long-time drug user.
Can somebody bag that crack pipe?
Turned around.
The killer was here. He must have used a small caliber pistol. His blood spattered through the entry wound and onto the ground. You see the void where there's no blood? That's where the killer was standing.
Batista, come over here. Morgan, tell Batista what you just told me.
See the void in the blood spatter? That's where the killer was.
Oh, yeah, Captain, Bobby, get a load of this.
Oh my god.
Hey, Morgan, tell me your hypothesis.
The killer was right in front of the victim. The void in the blood's where he was standing.
We've got ourselves a real blue chipper here, don't we, boys? We would have never known the Vic got shot at close range except for the gunpowder burn in the middle of his forehead.
That's enough, guys.
Oh boy.
Now you just gotta join in. I'll give him a hard time back. It's like I always taught you. You gotta blend in.
Got it.
Good Colombian shit. You that, Joe? Police! Freeze! That's it. Nope. Let me see those hands.
And that's Dexter's mom, right? Looked
I
like
think
the lady
so.
that was giving birth to him in the last episode. And then he gets his informant.
You know what you want? Cubano sandwich. Buena selección.
Uh-oh, boy genius.
It looks like there's a void where the meat should be.
We're gonna need your expert opinion, okay? Don't avoid the subject. These pendejos put me up to it.
Dex, this is my cousin Alvaro. He runs the joint. Feel free to bring any complaints to him.
Yeah, but if you do, see how quickly I no hablo inglés. Can I get a drum roll, please? The celebratory first crime scene lunch.
Miami Metro Laminates.
Hey, my wife asked I had a salad.
The lanyard, when I was working as a
Watch my cholesterol.
substitute teacher and assistant teacher and stuff like that, there was
Yeah, Bobby,
one of the
you look like
jobs
you won
that I
by the way
had
from a
that I
myocardial
never got a
infarction.
freaking card at all, which kind of irritated me. What did they say?
That's my bad.
I don't know how to say that.
Okay.
Myocardial infarction?
Okay. I'll be able to go back and watch it later, but that's what I get for talking while it's going.
Yeah. It was a joke about his weight.
Okay. Is that like Lunchables?
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly. Although I don't think we had anything like Lunchables back. I don't know exactly what point this would be, but
Am I stoned?
it seems like Lunchables are a
you talking
fairly
about?
recent
You
thing.
never help out.
Fairly.
Peppy lately. You finally get laid or something?
Or something.
First day at work.
Well, homicide looks good on you.
Couldn't agree more.
Dinner in 5.
Grilling?
You know it.
Lunchables are from 1988.
1988. Okay. Oh yeah. Yeah. I grew up in the 80s and early 90s. I graduated from high school early 90s, so I knew they were a thing when I was in the military,
Anyone knows how powerful
which
urges
would have
can
been
be.
my young adult years, but
I don't think we should compare.
90s.
Fuckosaurus Rex. 2 grown men and you can't unboil water?
Boil water.
I've overboiled plenty of things, so all you gotta do is not be paying attention.
Don't get me wrong, it's not the same as Nurse Mary. That was euphoric. Indescribable. But today was good.
Looks like you grilled a sponge.
It's tofu kebabs.
What the hell is tofu?
It's soy. It's heart healthy. And before you cry about it, I used your favorite hot sauce to add flavor.
Put hot sauce on dog shit, it's still gonna taste like dog shit.
Fine. You can enjoy a romantic dinner for 2.
You could at least try it since you don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
I don't personally like soy any of the times that I've had it, but it's edible.
This is gonna kill me way before a steak will.
Start focusing on lean cuts of meat. Then you can still get your meat, but it'll be really lean. It's not my preference, but I find it better than soy.
Yeah. I would probably rather chew on gristle than eat tofu.
And honestly, I can do really, really lean ground beef for burgers, and I actually like it better, so that works for me. But steak, there's only a couple kinds of steak I even like, so I don't think having a lean cut of steak would be something that I would enjoy.
I'd rather do time than snitch for you fucking pigs!
There might be another way.
Now, from the little bit I learned in sociology, you use the girls in relationships of criminals a lot to try to get to the criminals. And not always in a good way.
Your kid make that? I'm sure your kid is worried sick.
My boys are with a neighbor. I was supposed to be home hours ago.
If we can find a way to help each other, I will take you home to your boys today.
You want the girlfriend to be your informant.
I'm pretty sure the most time that we've spent just the 3 of us was when you were in the hospital. And now every day is bring your son to work day.
Well, it is, literally.
We all gotta find a way to move on.
Thanks, Harry. I'll get right on that.
For my new friends. Friends. What a concept.
I brought veggies for everyone.
Great kid.
I would eat them.
Yeah, it has ranch.
Especially at work.
You wanted to lower your cholesterol? Vegetables.
I sleep like a vegetable.
Detective Batista?
Come on. Carrots are good.
Yeah, and it has some sauce in
Even
the middle.
if you don't like the other stuff, carrots are good.
I think you could give me a hand with
And
Dexter.
honestly, broccoli's not too bad either.
Take him under your wing a little.
Especially with some ranch dressing. I know some people like blue cheese, but I think it's disgusting.
Should I invite Masuka? I think he's younger than me.
Masuka's better in smaller doses.
JV Morgan case files for all possible drug-related homicides over
More scams.
and print them single-sided.
Cops don't eat that shit. Let me help you with that. What brings you by? Organized by year?
Shouldn't all this be transferred into the computer system?
I'll be dead and buried before all these files get put into the computer.
He's like, I can do it, and I would enjoy it. Plus, he'd get to see all those files and all those cases.
Miami's murder solve rate was 18%. So many killers still on the street. I was a kid in a candy store.
And I would imagine as an intern, he'd have more time on his hands to do stuff like going through files and organizing them and putting them on the computer and stuff.
I heard about Judge Powell's kid.
Praying like hell it doesn't get to homicide. I have heard one working theory.
Cartel?
Unfortunately. I hope Jimmy will be home soon.
Can't imagine losing my son.
Negative. I thought we were gonna wait to look at the results together.
Maybe God doesn't want us to replace our baby.
Jeez, Dax, anal retentive much? Jackpot. $30 a tape.
$30 a tape? Well, I don't think so.
It depends on the tapes.
I mean, back in the 80s? And especially for used ones?
Oh, wait, are you 21? Sorry, I'm a man of the law. This place is a completely different vibe at night, huh?
In the military, most of us don't start out at 21 or over. They try to get us right out of high school. They don't even give you a freaking summer vacation. I asked for a summer and I didn't even get that. You get in the military, you go through basic AIT, they give you a little bit of freedom. And it doesn't matter that you're not 18. Freaking people are serving you alcohol and stuff like that. We had no problem getting alcohol. Straight out of AIT, straight in AIT, whatever. And then I went to Korea after that. In Korea, the age limit is younger than that. So I was already of age when I got to Korea. But yeah, there is that idea that if you're old enough to serve your country, why are they saying you're not old enough to drink alcohol?
Every Tuesday night we do a shot of rum. And Renee's Anna. Renee! This one you should take. Atta boy.
So you knew him?
Yeah, he used to be a busboy here. Came over from Cuba in 1980. Yeah, Renee worked his ass off, trying to scratch out a living for him and his mom. Borrowed money from the wrong guy. Handsome Tony Ferrer. Loaned Renee a few thousand, slapped on a huge vig.
Interest?
So much that it's impossible to pay back. Pretty soon, he was in the hole over 20 grand. Goes to Renee's house, put a gun next to his head, fired, and told him that if he didn't have his money by Friday, the next bullet was going to be in his skull. The bullet went through the wall and hit his mom in the head. She died instantly.
Fuck.
Carla Carpio.
Yeah. How'd you know that?
Pulling case files for Tanya. And that one stuck with me. Because it was so sad.
A week later, Renee killed himself at his mother's grave. was just too much.
And there went your witness.
I hate that Ferrer is still out there, preying on my community. But he's smart and slippery. We've never been able to put him away.
That'll give him something to focus on. And give him a way to look good to the department. Yeah, a lot of TV dinners were like that when I was a kid. The cardboard trays, and some of them were in metal trays. Because for microwaves, you would cook the TV dinner in an oven.
No!
Here's a fake. I can't give you anything for. Are you interested in importing that?
No thanks.
I'll give you 200. All right, 250. Last, best, and final.
Deal.
Dad, really? Those are your mom's.
My dad said that I should move on, so this is me moving the fuck on.
Hey, if you don't want those earrings, can I have them?
Knock yourself out.
I hope he at least cleaned them up so they don't have DNA evidence on them.
Wow, that's fast as I've ever seen Bobby move.
Probably have a lot of people's DNA evidence on them.
True. I mean, he seems smart enough to know not to leave that on there. And they seem to be very common earrings.
Thanks,
but he did say in that first episode that it was going to be a big mistake.
Hopefully the sugar rush will cure my hangover.
What day is today?
Tuesday.
It's Thursday. You think a jury is going to trust your memory? You're like a white crayon, useless. Now get the hell out of my sight.
Fuck you, asshole!
You said that already. Would somebody please kindly escort Miss Silvera back to the street? She seems to know so well.
He's not wrong. There needs to be a certain amount of reliability for the courts to take what they say with more than a grain of salt. No donuts for you.
Yep.
Unless you get some diet donuts. A pineapple ring.
That is my son, Brian.
Yeah?
This little angel's Dexter.
Hello, Dexter.
I'm assuming they don't last much longer.
What do you mean?
Because I think Dexter was a baby when his mom died.
Yeah. I thought you were talking about the kids. I'm like, what?
Just ID the finger.
A severed body part. I didn't understand why this affected me the way it did.
The prints are matched to the one we pulled from Jimmy Powell's toy.
All I knew was I wanted to kill whoever did this. In that moment, there was nothing more I wanted to do than find and kill the person who harmed Jimmy Powell. Every cop in Miami was in pursuit of his kidnapper, so I had to feed my urge with someone else. Hello, handsome Tony Ferrer.
Hey, pick this up for you. I thought it might help you. You know.
Yeah, I also used gum, but not Nicorette gum when I was trying to quit smoking. Just some, like, cinnamon gum or peppermint gum or something like that.
Truth is, there's no Nicorette for someone like me.
And when we had the MREs, they had little teeny, I think they were chiclets or something like that, little teeny pieces of gum.
No methadone.
I don't even remember when the Nicorette came out or when it started being a big thing, but I didn't use that. I know when my husband tried to quit the first couple times, that was something that they suggested for him. But then I think he ended up using the patch.
The dark passenger was rising up. There was only one thing I could do about it. Hello, darkness, my old friend.
All right. Let's see if there's anything after this. Alright, so that was the second episode of Dexter. Pretty good. It's interesting seeing the stuff that started him off and like how he started going through these and just seeing some of his habits and stuff. We're already there from the beginning. And it's interesting seeing how Deb was at the beginning. I am interested in how the earrings put a wrench in the whole thing. I know he said that they were going to be a big mistake. I'm assuming they got to cause problems at some point, but is it really going to be that bad, or is it something that he's going to be able to pick up on and do away with the problem fairly quickly? We'll see. All right, that's all I got for you this week. I'll see you next week. Bye.